everyone. Welcome to Heart Center Tarot. As always, my name is Marina, and I will be your guide for this portion of the journey. And help me welcome Gary from Twin Tarot.
Howdy, howdy.
Yay! And David from Tarot by the Bay.
Hey, everyone.
Hello, hello. And welcome to Taco Tuesday. And I really had to dig deep to try to find things for us to read on, because I don't know about you, but it's dead out there. There's
just nothing controversial to read on.
No, the most exciting thing was the announcement of the new Pantone color, but whatever that might be. So
I was excited about that. Oh wait, that was Pantone that they announced just in time for Christmas. 1,000 uses.
There you go. Yeah. So now I have to rebuy all my gifts because they're the wrong shape. There you go. So want to say hi to all of you that have joined us. Thank you for being here. Hopefully you will be entertained, if nothing else, and maybe learn a few things. But what is want to check with you guys first. So what's happening on your channel, Gary?
Well, I got David back. That was a big plus.
Guys, if you ever wonder if I really take this stuff to heart,
yes, indeed,
spin me out for a week.
Yeah, I was basically running the show for about 7 to 10 days there, and finally was able to get Dave back, in a balanced enough state that we could read together. But not much else to report on that. Just we're putting the videos together. I'll put out solos once in a while if something interesting comes up, or if if there's something I just feel needs to throw in there if I have something to say.
Perfect. And David, we are very, very glad to have you back.
Yeah, thank you. It's a hard balance, because on the one hand, I know that it's like people are really stressed out and they want to hear messages that calm them down, and it's one of the things that I actually pride myself in being able to do on my channel is hold it steady, we're going to get through there. But at the same time, it's like I don't feel steady, and how in God's name can I sincerely give anybody a message of hope when I'm looking around and all I see is doom and gloom? So I need to I can't do it unless my head's on straight. And it took about a week to get my head on straight.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I went into a lot of the 2016 energy, and just
you think?
Yeah.
Shit.
Just kind of took a deep breath, and it's it's like I said to you earlier, I'm in a place that is very, very calm. I'm in a place that I know everything is going to work out, and yet at the same time, I do get myself into that human mindset every once in a while of, oh Jesus, what now? Yeah. What next? And coupled with that is I've had to review some long-standing friendships that I have to walk away from.
Yep.
That even believe it or not, even up here in Canada, you think would be a little isolated, but we got our you got Mega, we've got Umka, like we're the folks are talking about, well, we've got to get rid of the immigrants.
Of course.
Yeah. And we've been friends for 25 years. Did you forget that I wasn't born in Canada? Did you forget all the conversations we had about, me immigrating here from another country? And are you confusing immigration with refugees?
Right.
Because immigrants bring money to the economy. Immigrants so yeah, that's been That's been a little difficult, but I've come to terms with it that you know what, I can spend money here with you, knowing how you feel, or I can give that money to a business that is run by immigrants, and I think that's what I'm going to do.
There you go.
Mhm.
Most of the red baseball cap folks are not in my life right now.
Yes.
There was purging going on in 2017 through 2020. There's like one or two, and it's just not purposely ghosting them, but I'm not reaching out. It's like, there was already drifting apart there. Now it's just, that's fine. Just cut it loose and let it go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amen.
And yeah. Native Americans might want the European immigrants to leave. Absolutely innocent potato.
Yeah, that was kind of my first thought is like, the United States, I mean,
Yeah.
almost exclusively populated with people who immigrated,
Exactly.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Pull up the ladder behind you.
Yeah.
All the immigrants after me in my family.
Yes. Yes, that's right. Yeah, because we're different. Not
Yeah. Not us, those immigrants.
Yes.
And here's the funny thing, it's not like Florida didn't pass this exact scenario into law last year or 18 months ago. And we saw how it played out. They wanted to ban all illegal immigrants. They want to get rid of all the illegal immigrants. And therefore, all the legal immigrants, the illegals left because they didn't want to get thrown back out of the country. And then the legal immigrants said, fuck you, we're not coming either. And so guess what? As you and I were discussing earlier, Marina, who's going to build your houses? Who's going to fix your roofs? Who's going to work your slaughterhouses? Who's going to pick your crops? Who's going to do all the cooking at your restaurants, the cleaning at your hotels? All the menial work that immigrants and illegal immigrants are doing inexpensively relative to the entitled white people who think that work is beneath them.
Absolutely.
So watermelons rotted in the field. Houses didn't get built. Restaurants had to restrict hours and hotels had to restrict services. And to the point where Florida started saying, please come back. We won't enforce the law. It's on the books, but we're not going to enforce it. That tells you.
Kidding. Psych. Come on now.
It tells you how it didn't work. And this is DeSantis's Florida.
Yes.
Not exactly home of the woke, open-minded libtards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. And you know what? Our job, I think, going forward is, and here, this my personal stance. This is how I kind of plan to approach those people is. The ones that are going to start complaining and come to their senses and go, oh my God, no. First, well, maybe that's something you should have looked up before November 5th. Number two, I'm not going to fix it for you. I can cheerlead. I can stand on the sidelines and say, you know what? I'm going to be here cheering you on, but you got to fix the mess you made. Right? You got to make your bed. You got to figure out how you're going to do that. And if I need to remind you that, this is a situation of your own making, I can do it with love. I can do it with love. So anyway, alrighty. So as I said earlier, thank you, all of you for joining us. And before we get into some of the readings, I just want to put it out there to all of you to please come on my channel on Friday, the 22nd of November at I believe it's going to be 4:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And the event is called Shine Your Light. And it's a concept that came to Sherry of Trancing with Spirit, kind of at 4:30 in the morning when she was woken up out of a sound sleep by her guides who said, this is what you need to do. So On the 22nd, which is a really auspicious day, at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to invite everyone on the East Coast, everyone that shows up, to say a prayer of light, love, compassion, and unity. And we're going to ask you to join us in a meditation. And we're also going to ask you to turn your porch light on. And if you don't have a porch light, put a lamp in the window, but some kind of a light, and leave it on overnight.
Marina, real quick question. On your live page, it says event begins at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. Did you? Is it going to be an hour before you start that, or did you mean 6:30 Eastern Standard Time instead of 5:30?
You know what? I may have to go back and change that,
okay.
Because it's 6:30. No, it is starting at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time.
5:30 Central, 4:30 Mountain, 3:30 Pacific. Okay, got it.
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't want people to not know the time since it's your jam.
No, thank you for pointing that. I'll tell you, these time zones, as I've been planning and putting this together, they're my nemesis. Okay. So yes, at 7 p.m. on the East Coast, we'll turn on the porch lights. At 7 p.m. in the Central Time Zone, turn on the porch lights. At 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, turn on the porch lights, so that we can hopefully get this rolling across the country and have, let's see if the guys on the space station can look down and say, hey, how come everyone's got their lights turned on? So the idea is to send light, love, compassion, and unity to the world wherever it might be. Okay? It's not a political event. It's not a political discussion. We won't be taking questions from the chat because it's supposed to be a time of meditation. And we'll have people on who can explain a little about the astrology, a little about things that you can do going forward to kind of stay in that high vibrational place. Let's see if we can't turn things around, right? We got nothing to lose. So if you need more information, if you go to the community tab on my YouTube page, you'll see a little more information on there. So there's that. And I hope that you guys will have a chance to, at some point, to come on and say hi and whatever. If that's your jam, you're invited anytime. All right. That having been said, I thought we could start off with apparently Russia, just within the last day or two, has made changes to the terms of what they consider an attack on the homeland. Up until now, it's kind of been a direct, another country. You want to come into Russia, you attack Russia, well, we're going to have a problem, we're going to fight back. Now they've included, well, not only if someone attacks Russia, but if there are other countries who help that invading country, then it's going to be like an act of war against them too. And this was, I think, in response to Biden telling Zelensky, yeah, those long-range missiles, use them. Go ahead. Oops, sorry. Got a little bit of an echo. I wasn't sure where it was coming from. Could have been me. I think it might have been me. So I'd like us to read on that and see is I think Putin has telegraphed that out there because he wants to scare people.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
You know what? The thing that was coming to mind as you were describing it, and you're going to have to go back, and you may not know this. Gary will probably remember it. Gary, remember the Libyan line of death that Omar Gaddafi was putting out in the ocean, that if the U.S. crosses the line, don't cross the line of death. And then he kept moving the line of death closer and closer to shore because the U.S. Navy kept crossing the line of death. And I think Robin Williams had a sketch about that the line of death was finally we're going to go up and ring your doorbell at night and run away type of thing.
Yes. Yeah. So is this
a bluff?
Yeah. Yeah. Is this really going to scare anybody, or is it just going to be, Vlad doing his thing of, I'm protecting Mother Russia.
Considering the number of NATO countries that are supplying arms and intelligence and other things of value to Ukraine, Vladimir, you should be launching shit already.
And for those in the audience not paying attention, Ukraine's already used the long-range ATACMS to hit a munitions depot in Russia. So, okay, Vlad, go ahead. We did it. What are you going to do? Yeah. Nuclear war? Okay, then I don't have to deal with Trump supporters because we're going to be eliminated anyways. Real quick, what I get here is the line of death, the tower card, things crashing down, trying to hold people hostage, Six of Swords, Wheel of Fortune, Page of Pentacles. The threat is there. There's nothing to back it. Russia's trapped. They're just trapped. They want this war to stop, and they're trying to get things to stop. So they keep threatening stuff, and Putin will keep threatening and threatening and threatening. But there's just nothing. These are horrible cards, by the way, but I don't look at it as horrible like they're launching the nukes. I'm looking at the Page of Pentacles saying, this guy, he's got nothing in the tank to threaten with. He shouts and shakes his fist, and that's about as threatening. Not that he couldn't, but here's the problem. If you press the button, you rely on these people to follow your crazy orders, and I think there's enough Russian generals and people in command that are like, heck no, I'm not pressing this button.
Yeah.
I don't want to die.
Yeah.
Yes.
Niet, Vladimir. Niet.
Yes.
What'd you get, Gary?
I got some pretty strong cards on this one. Okay, so I was kind of asking, okay, what's his game here? So the foundational reading is the Empress, Mother Russia, of course, is the most appropriate card. The main clarifier is he's looking at his options, and they're all bad. He has an option that he doesn't want to take, which is ending the war, and it's going to have to be on, it might not be on his terms, okay?
Yeah.
He's got this big burden. They are making little to no progress in Ukraine. He is right now. He's trying to keep a lid on the emotions of the oligarchs and the citizens of Russia because everyone is getting fed up, and he's about to hit stagflation, which Dave and I did a video on. Where you got inflation and higher interest rates, and everything is going to get very expensive. And underneath it all is he's trying to find a path to victory, but this is not. He's boxed himself in a corner. I mean, what are you going to do? Because if you don't follow through, it's like Dave said, it's the moving line, right? It was a stupid thing to say. He shouldn't have said it. You don't bluff unless you can really go through with it.
Yes.
And he's got no credibility.
But it's worked so far. It's worked for the last 2.5, 3 years. It's just that I think Biden's like, no, you're not going to do anything.
Well, yeah, but you know what's happening is the U.S. and the NATO allies are chipping away at it, right? Yeah. So first, everyone's like, okay, well, he might be serious, and then we give him F-16s, and then we give him medium range missiles. Now we're saying you can use the longer range of these missiles. Yeah. And so we're just chipping away at it, and Putin keeps rattling the saber, It's like mom's rattling the drawer with the forks and knives and spoons. Yes. But if you don't pull out the wooden spoon and come after us, we're not going to stop misbehaving.
Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I start off with the King of Swords. Kind of he's realizing the truth of his situation. You're right. It's hitting him that his his options are very, very limited in terms of what he can do. I also got the Eight of Pentacles, kind of confirms that yeah, he's looking at what it is that that's available to him, and it's really not a whole lot. So he's going to keep on doing kind of what he's doing, hoping for an outcome that isn't going to happen. I also got the King of Wands, and I think this is. It feels to me like the people around him who are not only, well, they've recognized that his ideas are a little wonky for quite some time, but I think this is people talking kind of behind the scenes, going, "Hey, we're going to have to do something here. There's got to be a way that we can get out of this, and that we can kind of get into a place where we can see our way clear." But it ultimately it's going to have to end with him realizing that this is lost. Like, you can't make a victory out of this.
Nope.
You can't. And then I've got the Four of Pentacles. Maybe you were better off just kind of holding on to what you had instead of wanting to get a little more. So,
Yep.
You effed around, and now you're about to find out. And the kind of intuitively, what I keep getting is, if he was winning the war, why does he have to bring in North Korean soldiers to fight for him?
Yep.
And North Korean ordnance, and I mean, that World War II stuff he's using is really still got a good shelf
Cutting
life.
edge.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So no, I think it's just like you say, moving the line. You better not do that, or along the same lines as, wait till your dad gets home. Yeah. Until he does, I'm okay.
I think it's, it could be he's looking over his shoulder at this point. He knows the end is near. Yes. And he's got to put on that show of strength or power, because he realizes it's crumbling, and it's coming to an end, and it's coming to an end soon.
Yes. Yeah. And kind of along the same lines, yeah, Kim Jong-un has, he released another one of his famous statements about America, and the devil is going to pay and whatnot. Yeah, you know what? Stand in line. Like, there's bigger and better folks out there that that want to argue first. Like, you're not scaring anybody.
Yeah,
you're really not scaring anybody.
The one thing that does frighten me is, how is Russia paying for all of this ordnance and troops? Because I know one thing Russia has that North Korea would love to get their hands on.
Yes.
Vodka?
Lots of vodka.
Yes.
Food? Fine built Russian vehicles?
Yes.
Yeah.
Intercontinental ballistic missiles technology?
Yes, indeed. Yep.
Yeah. And entertainment purposes only, we're just tossing things around. Yeah, that is what North Korea wants.
It seems logical.
Yes. I mean, what else can Russia offer them?
Yeah.
Not a whole heck of a lot.
Nope.
So,
those little Russian dolls that stack inside each other. They're really cool.
They are cute. I hadn't thought of that. Okay.
Just make the Kim Jong-un version of it.
Oh my God.
Lots of little Kim Jong-uns on the inside. It's the gift of 2024.
Yeah, the problem is that you could have Kim Jong-un on the outside and the whole population just in the next level, right?
Yeah, exactly. But why would you want that when you can have a littler Kim Jong-un on the inside?
Do a leader.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, one of the questions I'm going to skip for now, but I just I thought that we might take there's a good bit of sort of talk out there about the Five Eyes, and for those that that aren't familiar with it, the Five Eyes are Australia, Canada, the United Kingdom, New Zealand, and the USA. And it was, they started to kind of work together during the Second World War when it came to code breaking. And they formalized this union of the Five Eyes in 1946. So basically, they're what they do is they and I had to write it down because it was too much to remember. They share intelligence on ocean and maritime surveillance, scientific and defense intelligence analysis, medical intel, geospatial intel, counterintelligence, and counterterrorism intel. So the reason that people have been talking very, very recently about the Five Eyes is that the U.S. is gathering information from Australia, Canada, the UK, and New Zealand about what might have been involved and who might have been involved in the election. Now, Russia has basically come out and said, and I'm paraphrasing in so many words, yeah, we helped Donald Trump win, and we know that he's a man of his word, and he made certain promises, and we know that he's going to live up to those promises, and we're here to. So, you kind of it's hard to argue, and I think that there is going to be a good deal of information that is going to come from the Five Eyes. So before I get into and tell you about the 9 eyes and the 14 eyes, are the Five Eyes going to be able to provide the Biden administration with information that is going to outline how this was done? And I say Biden administration because I think Biden is going to want to. I don't think that he's going to want to be the one that comes out with it. I think someone else is going to have to come up with it. Otherwise, it's, oh, look at the poor loser. Yeah, talking about, election interference. So,
well, you could always just send SEAL. According to the court cases argued in front of the Supreme Court, you could send SEAL Team 6 out there to assassinate your political rivals, and Congress can impeach you and remove you from office. But it's legal for you to do it. The consequences being out. So, I mean,
yeah, Five Eyes.
Who needs Five Eyes? Asking just, will Five Eyes, the engineer on Five Eyes with the election interference type stuff, and do they have the information? Will they be sharing it? There is success, and then it's success tempered by what do you do with it now that you got it. Center underneath it is the Queen of Wands. Okay, I think Five Eyes in the intelligence agencies, they find stuff. And it probably suggests that there is election interference, the election was stolen, but now it's up to the Biden administration to figure out what do you do with that information, because we're not exactly a united country. We're a rather divided country, probably the most divided since maybe civil rights, maybe the Civil War. But we've also got the Lovers in the Six of Wands. I think they found stuff. I think they've shared it because of longstanding agreements that we have. It really comes down to, the Democrats won. Five Eyes knows it. The Biden administration will know it. But what do you do with it? Okay, that's what I'm getting.
Yeah. What you
good
got,
cards, really good cards in there, by the way.
Yes.
I've got a lot of overlap with David's cards, actually.
Stop cheating. Copy your own
card. Right? The foundation I had were the Five of Pentacles, and I've been kind of hitting on this as the oligarchs and the tech bros, basically buying the election, as it were, and putting the will of the American voters outside. The main clarifier is Dave's Queen of Wands. This card always comes up when we're talking about whether there's been proof of election fraud, and they know it's there. It's how do you message this? How do you get it out there so that you don't start a civil war, if you will. The two other clarifiers, the Seven of Wands, defending the various, if you will, attacks, or trying to come up with, look at different possible explanations of being able to defend your position from these. So, why isn't it just this, or why isn't it just that? Being able to defend your position, like in a debate. The other clarifier: if you can do this, if you can message this properly and defend it, you can celebrate a victory. Underneath it, though, is the moon. It's they haven't figured out what that path is yet. What is that message that needs to come out? And what's the path we have to walk to get that message out and get the will of the voters to be recognized and enforced?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I start off with the Queen of Swords in that, the truth. They know what the truth is. And they've got receipts for it, so they can absolutely they can prove it. But yeah, you're right. And how do you get that across? Also got the moon. In yes, you have to be careful of people's emotions. And yeah, I agree with you guys that it is a matter of how do you formulate that message so that even the people who disagree with you will agree with you. And that's kind of a tough one. I too got the Five of Pentacles. I think that they're right now, and Five of Pentacles, the five eyes. They are working on how it is that they are going to present it, and more importantly, when they are going to present it. Because I think that they are waiting for more of the mega supporters to become angry, to become disenchanted. And I get that with the Page of Pentacles, with the stuff coming in. I also got the High Priestess in that, she will tell you what you need to know if you ask the right question. So it's a matter of formulating it in such a way so that people do start asking the right question. I think that in this case, timing is going to be everything. And I do get a feeling that they're it's probably not. They're probably not going to release anything until December at some point. Maybe mid December is when the rumblings are really going to start to happen. Because by mid December, I think a lot of the mega supporters will have realized that what Trump has been saying all along, he hasn't lied to them. He's told them exactly what he's going to do. They just didn't believe him. But really, he has messaged. He has told them exactly what he is going to do, and they just thought he was kidding. Well, now they're finding out. Mm-hmm. So I'll mention too with the and I'm just mindful of the time here. The Nine Eyes. The Nine Eyes includes the previous five. And it also includes Denmark, France, the Netherlands, and Norway. The 14 eyes include all those, plus Germany, Belgium, Italy, Spain, and Sweden. So there is a lot of countries that are part of the 14 eyes, that are part of the five eyes. They have a vested interest in coming up with the truth. They have a vested interest in in getting the receipts and working very hard on who did what, where, and how, because they are, you notice, Sweden, Belgium, Norway, Netherlands, they're all kind of isolating Russia. They're also isolating India, China, and North Korea. So here, having gone on forever, what's a question here? With that many eyes on the situation, will the messaging be more believable by the folks that are going to hear it? Because it's not coming just from one place. It's not just coming from, well, of course Canada would say that, because
Justin Trudeau.
Yeah. And of course
Melania on his arm.
Yeah. Yeah. So is this I guess maybe to rephrase it, is the amount and the breadth of the information that they are going to come up with, is it going to be almost impossible for someone to say, oh no, that's not true?
Cult members gonna cult.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what I got here.
Go, Gary.
Okay, so I got
Gary.
The foundation is the Four of Wands. The 14 eyes, working, everyone working together.
Yes.
To get to basically to get to the truth. The main clarifier is the 10 of Pentacles. They're all bringing things of value because they want to preserve the legacies. In this case, I'm going to say it's the legacy of our little democracy here. If the United States goes autocratic, it's got to have a global impact. So it's in everyone's best interest that if there's something funny going on here, to get to the bottom of it quickly. There's going to be some strong messaging that comes out from this. Once again, you've got that moon card again. It was underneath energy, but once again, what is that path forward? What is the messaging? I think this comes back to messaging. Is how do you bring this messaging forward that is clear and compelling to the average, third grader, MAGA voter? And if they can do it, Kamala Harris gets back gets the presidency. The best of democracy.
But they have a lot of information and they're going to present it. A lot of people are not going to want to hear it. Some people will be willing to listen. Potentially puts us on a new path here, but people's emotions are going to be really, really high. And, again, it's plan actions that you take that impact the world. I do think the intelligence agencies find stuff. Their findings will be presented to the American people. Many Americans are not going to want to hear this news, and it's going to be a very polarized response to it. MAGA, if they do come up with information saying that the election was altered, MAGA is going to scream bloody murder about the election being stolen again. And the Harris supporters will be celebrating, especially if it means that she's put in there. And it's going to be volatile. I understand Biden's approach with this, and the only reason why he's probably wants them to do it is he doesn't want to come across as an autocrat himself by doing it. I've often wondered if he'll have to delay the inauguration while this gets fought in court. And The only thing I could see that he would do that I think would happen is that he would act as a steward president to the government. Basically, his promise to the American people would be something akin to, I will make no policy decisions while this is being sorted out. We will just do the business of the country, and probably have, Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer or something like that, or the head of the Senate, the heads of the Senate, be with him when he's making decisions and running it past them, so that they can message to the American people that, yes, he's not trying to hoodwink you this week with these decisions. That it's basically going to be like a president by committee type of thing. I could see that while it plays out, but still, the cult members are going to be screaming bloody murder.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're going to be screaming anyway, regardless of what happens. They're going to be screaming anyway. So, they're just because they're loud doesn't mean they're right. So, all right. I get the Three of Pentacles. This is, what you're the working together, the plan and the things that have to happen so that you highlight and you're able to put out the Seven of Cups, the illusion, delusion, show the people what it was that the devil told them that wasn't right, or that the devil did that didn't go along with what it is that they were doing. I think that the Three of Wands, I think the message is going to, I think the messaging might work only because there more and more of the people who, quote unquote, voted for Trump are having second thoughts. They're, well, I wanted to get rid of Obamacare, but, because I've got the ACA. So.
So stupid.
I know. I know. So, yeah.
Perhaps if we built this large wooden badger.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, they're, I think that they might look at the news that comes in, and maybe they wouldn't say it out loud, but, privately they're thinking, oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, all righty. Okay. We get a do-over. We get a mulligan. Right. I think, David, I would like to, the idea of Biden kind of staying in power by, let's say, by committee.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something that's worth looking at. Is that a possibility? I think that would be a great thing. So. Yeah. Well, will Biden put off the inauguration and rule by committee while this goes through?
What a spread. Okay, foundation of the reading. Will Biden do this? Two of Swords. A decision that needs to be made in the best interest of the United States. And it's kind of like somebody has to lead. Somebody has to take charge in this to protect the United States. There is absolute restriction with this. Like, again, that whole thing about wanting to keep it really tight. Basically, we will come up with no new policies, which is interesting because you talk about Biden allowing the use of long-range ATACMS. Well, to stop it would be a policy change. And, can't do that. I can't touch it. And it's kind of we are going to work together while we do this. Basically, we will act. I think it's going to happen. I do think, or I should say, he has the choice to make this happen. Will he pick up the sword and lead? Mm-hmm. The Supreme Court's basically said you could be a king if you want to. And I think he could do that. And he probably doesn't have to declare, martial law or military emergencies or anything along those lines, War Powers Act, in order to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. What you got, Gary?
All right. Well, I got some very interesting cards too. So the
yeah.
foundation is the Hangman. So I was kind of thinking, okay, will he actually delay the inauguration? If they find shenanigans, are they going to delay the inauguration and let this thing go through the courts? So and then, like you said, do this sort of executive by committee type deal. Hangman, looking at it a different way. This, this is something, we're in uncharted waters here. Let's face it. You have to look at it a different way. The main clarifier is the Hermit. Trying to find that path forward, letting this alleged fraud or maybe found fraud make its way through the court systems, find its path forward. The other two clarifiers, you got the Two of Wands. He's got to look out in the future. What is the best interest for this country and this world? And the Page of Pentacles. Once again, it's kind of a new idea. You got to be creative here because we've not gone down this path before. And at the end of the day, he is trying to find a balance, something that's fair for everyone until we could get this stuff through the courts and a decision made on how to proceed as a country. So I think if he's got evidence that there was shenanigans, he will stop the inauguration until such time as they've gotten to the bottom of it.
Yeah, I think so. Okay. I get the Two of Pentacles. Yes, definitely trying to make a decision. Okay, it's something that I think is going to weigh heavy on him. I also got the Chariot in this is the decision isn't going to be an easy one. He is going to be concerned about the optics of how this looks. So it's a matter of getting the other side to come on board. Yes, with McConnell and the others to kind of play together, play nice. And I'm going to put something out there, and maybe it's a long shot, but it could be one of the reasons that McConnell had asked for the new Speaker of the House to be a secret vote. And who did they vote for? But someone who is willing to at least listen to the other side. So that sets that narrative up very, very nicely. I think that Biden is ultimately going to be, the King of Swords, where he is going to take this on as this is something that needs to be done for the good of the country. I'm not doing it for myself. I'm doing it for everyone. And until, we know exactly what happened and how it happened, and we can prevent it. Yeah, exactly. We're not going to make any policy decisions. We're not going to start anything until that comes out. When the messaging does happen, I think it's going to be fairly quick. In that, the information is going to be difficult to kind of to argue with, and it almost feels like cooler heads do prevail, because then at the bottom of the deck, I've got the Six of Cups, the kind of that nostalgia, maybe the return to a little more sanity and justice. And I also got the Hierophant. So, sanity comes back to, to balance things out in the government, if you will.
The as people admire Gary's cat clock in the background there.
Here it is.
I have a question real quick. Will the Republicans are obviously, if Biden does this, the Republicans are going to go challenge this immediately in the courts. Absolutely. You can't do that. And I got the Seven of Coins, but and it was upside down. So this is really, you reap what you sow.
Yes.
You sowed the poison bush, and this like the Supreme Court chiseling away at the rights and locking in the rights of the president as a king. You did this. And now you got to deal with the consequences of it, because the Supreme Court can't now just back out and say, "Oh no, just kidding." You're just, maybe they'll try and soften it around the edges, but they're stuck. They're stuck right now. Their rash decision to help Trump is also going to help Biden. And I'm not the first person that's been on YouTube reading tarot cards or doing intuitive work that has suggested that the Supreme Court doing this is going to blow up right in their face when Biden uses his newfound king powers.
Yes. Yeah. I have a strong suspicion that it will, because I mean, above all things, Biden has been working his whole life for the betterment of the United States.
Yeah.
You know, he has done things that if the situation was reversed, could you see Trump stepping down and handing things over to?
You mean like when he lost the election and could have had a peaceful transfer of power? No.
So, something along those lines.
Or I'm a burden to this political party. I better do what's best and not. No, that's not literally not in his DNA.
No.
Fight.
Yes, yeah. He are not a patriot, okay?
Yeah.
just so you know. Now, David, you read, I think it was last night on, and I just kind of want to touch on it briefly. The relationship with Elon, or as Donald calls him, Leon Musk,
Jesus,
and Trump. Because now you've got two queen bees in the hive.
Oh God, yes. Battling divas.
Yeah, Elon's running around like he's like, the backup president.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And where is JD Vance? That's another thing that maybe we can look at. Where is JD Vance? It's like
probably apologizing to his wife for all the burden she's about to go through when they ban mixed race marriages, Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they'll just ban future ones.
Fine. Yeah. Okay. So how are Elon and Trump doing? And how long before the fight is on, the nails come out? Yeah. All righty.
Jesus. Talk about. Oh, man. That's an interesting one. A lot of wands here for this one.
Oh, yes. Holy Hannah. Oh.
This is an interesting one. This might be a little bit different than what I got last night. Went ahead and did a 7-carder on it. Yeah, somebody said they're already bickering. At the foundation of the reading is the 5 of Wands, the Hillbilly Brawl card. Literally, the bickering and the fighting and the struggle for power. And it's crossed by somebody having a vision of what they want to do versus somebody who doesn't. Underneath it is the star card. Who's going to be the star? Elon is the type that he's fighting because he has a goal in mind. But it's always driven by his ego to be the center of attention. Donald wants to be the center of attention first, and the goals are secondary. In the past, you got the 10 of Wands. It's a hard relationship that they've got between the two of them. And right now, Elon's on top. The guy with the money is the one that's ruling. Now, often we use this card for Trump, but Elon's truly an extremely wealthy man. Donald Trump pretends to be an extremely wealthy man. And Elon's got this like, yeah, I got this. I have the ideas. I'm going to take care of everything. I've got the big stick. I'm going to use it. Everybody's celebrating me. And which basically is like, you got Trump like, what are you doing? That was my victory that you're stealing, my glory that you're stealing. Trump is just going to be petty and vindictive. expect pettiness and vindictiveness out of Trump, because Elon is everything Trump kind of wants to be. You know, Elon's got his cult, his fans. Elon's got a metric crap ton of money, and he's younger and influential, and people listen to him and admire him, and you know,
and he has ideas, not just concepts of ideas.
Yeah, exactly. It would literally be petty. Trump's only got petty jealousy.
Yeah.
That's what I get.
Okay, Gary.
I got some similar cards as David. So the foundation I have is the Knight of Cups. Someone is going to just try and make an offer. I kind of get this as Trump is going to try and make Elon some sort of offer. Hey, why don't you, that whole DOJ, Department of Governmental Efficiency. Yeah, here, why don't you take that and stop being a pain in my butt? Because you're just being a nightmare to me.
Yeah.
You're charging forward, coming up with these crazy ideas, which is exactly what I want you to do. This is what I want you to kind of take the attention off of me. But the problem is that, like Dave said, they each want to control the message that's going out. And right now, underneath it, it's really Elon Musk is kind of, if you will, pandering a bit to Trump, in my opinion. And the way I'm reading this card is just like, humor the old guy, let him think what he wants, but I'm going to be the one that's really in charge of the messaging and going forth and making stuff happen.
I get the feeling like with Trump on that one, it could also be, that's very nice, Elon. I'm the president. I made you. Donald can never be second best to anyone. Nope. He might come up with a government-funded rocket ship to the moon or to Mars, and Elon's going to be the captain of that mission.
Yeah, they've got a very interesting relationship where they both kind of take advantage of each other.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Elon's better at it.
Yeah, they both want to be in charge. They both think they've got the right ideas. One of them got voted in. The other just
can't
grab the coattails and made it happen.
He wasn't born in the United States. He can't be president.
Nope. Yep.
So
this is as close as he's going to ever get.
Which is why he's taking the wand and running with it, because this is as close as he can get.
Yeah, exactly. And it's amazing that both of you got the Ace of Wands, because guess what? It's her. Yeah, that was my first card out. And just as David was talking about, a lot of wands here. Yeah. I also, Ace of Wands, I also get the Queen of Wands. Each one of them thinks that they can control the other.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that.
I can outmaneuver him. I can outsmart him. I can do this. I can do that. They are each sitting in judgment of each other, and they could name each other's faults off without a problem, not realizing that it's mirroring. What they're talking about is themselves. I think that slowly they are realizing that maybe there's got to be a way that I can get out of this. I wonder if I do this, maybe I can kind of maneuver around the other one, whoever happens to be thinking it. I think that Elon is going to approach it with maybe a little more temperance, because he tends to play the long game. He's got a plan in mind, and he knows the steps that he wants to take to get to where he's going. And ultimately, I think that what he is looking for is, to take over and become president, to have, Donald Trump inaugurated, put in power, and then Trump says that no, anyone can be president, and boom, all of a sudden he has a medical event, and Elon says, I'm here. I'm here to take over. I got this. I think that the sense for me is that, yeah, each one of them thinks that they can play the other. And yeah, just let's bring the knives out. This is going to be interesting to watch. Bring the knife, because some, in the words of, do you know who Russell Peters is?
No.
Russell Peters, he's a Canadian comedian who he is of I think his father is from either India or Pakistan or whatever, and he does a routine, and he says how his father would call him and tell him that, you know, something went wrong in the family, and Russell, do you know anything about this? Russell, somebody's gonna get hurt real bad. And I think that's, yeah, these guys are going to find out, and they're both looking at each other saying, "Uh-oh, someone's going to get hurt
Real bad."
real bad." Yeah, is not good. It is going to be interesting over the next little while. But you know, if we can see it as, if we can just survive it,
Yeah.
get over it, and try to deal with the fallout from megas when they realize that, oh, when he meant immigrants, what you mean, like my daughter-in-law who's an undocumented immigrant, she might have to be forced to leave. Never thought of that before. So anyway, thank you for doing this with me.
Thank you.
Yeah. Glad to have you back. Look forward to your videos, because they are always entertaining and always so full of information. And David, I admire your ability to be able to come up with not only a question, but what it is that you want to read on, and to do the backstory in such a way that it makes sense. And then reading, you know, I listen to those and I think, how come I can't do that? How come I'm all over the place?
Honestly, I have to know enough if I can't explain it to somebody, it means I don't understand it. You have to know it well enough to be able to explain it. And Gary does this too with his. You have to give the first 2 or 3 minutes to get people up to. Here's the topic. Here's the background. So we're all starting at the same place. Now we're going to go.
Yeah.
You don't have to believe it. You can double check things later on, but at least here's the starting line and the working information. Now, if later on you find out the working information's wrong, well, then here's the mistake I made on that last video. But otherwise, it's something. It's a way of sincerity to say, I'm trying to do this in a sincere way. We all start with the same facts.
Yeah, we didn't just pull it out of our backsides and some random thought.
TikTok is good for that.
Yeah. And I, as much as I can, I do try to do that, and do try to frame it that way.
Yeah.
But sometimes my brain is well ahead of my mouth, and sometimes they get caught up, and one goes this way and one goes that way, and then it's
But thank you, Marina.
I keep showing up. All right.
Lest I lose my manners. Thank you very much. It's a lovely compliment.
You guys, thank you, each and every one of you, for joining us, and thank you for sharing your comments with each other, and just just hang in there. We'll do what we can to keep everyone's energy up, and the feelings under control as much as we can. We won't lie to you. That's never gonna, as they say, blow sunshine up here. You know what? But there you go.
And that it's kind of the week I took off. It's literally that's what I felt like I was doing. How can I convey that positivity when I don't feel it myself? It's inauthentic.
Yeah.
All righty. Okay. Thank you, guys. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time, which I think is going to put us at about December 3rd. So we'll see you then. And thank you all for joining. Don't forget, please, I forgot to mention, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and give the boys a like, share, and subscribe. Because the more subs that they have, the more that they can encourage them to come and.
And speaking of subs, how are you doing sub-wise for your channel?
Yes.
Not, you know what? Not too bad. I'm just a little over 4,200. So I'm hoping that by the end of the year, I'll be at 5,000.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think it's doable. So, all right. We'll see everyone. Take care. And we'll see you on Friday, if not before. Bye-bye.
Okay. Take care, everyone.